Hi, my name is Julia and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about art, books and museums. I actually think I need to change that intro and say that this is my YouTube channel where I talk about my Asian roots. Recently I'm mainly reading about, let's say, Asian Korean culture, and I'm reading a lot of Asian authors. And I think my TBR this time has no big differences, let's say. But anyways, sorry for my voice, by the way. I'm still recovering from the illness, but yes, I think I'm better now, so I wanted to make this quick video and tell you what I'm going to read. I also have to say in advance, this is not going to be a long TBR. I still have just a lot of books to finish, so I'm going to be concentrating on that in August. However, I have 3 books that are, let's say, new to my TBR, and I'm really excited about them. So the first one has nothing to do with my Asian roots, as I say, and this is Susanna Clarke, Piranesi. So this is the book I was meaning to read for a long time. I had it on my shopping list and I finally got it recently. So this is that I'm going to read on my way to work, let's say. I'm really expecting the philosophical parable from this book, and this is the reason why I picked that, and I hope it will meet my expectations. The next book I picked as also preparation to my trip to South Korea, but also because it's a very interesting subject to me personally, and I hope this book will accompany me to my workplace every day when I travel there. So it is Frivolous, Lessons in Looks and Culture from the K-Beauty Capital by Elise Hu. So Elise Hu, as far as I understand, she was a broadcast journalist on PR, and I assume she's familiar to American viewers, and if you know her, yeah, you probably know her. I am not familiar with her, but according to Wikipedia, she is a journalist, let's say, and she was bureau chief of NPR in South Korea, so she was covering Korean, like North and South Korea and Japan, and I assume she's an expert in the subject. She herself is Chinese American, and she wrote this wonderful book that is called Flawless. As far as I understand, it is an exploration of this phenomena of K-beauty, which is a huge industry which earns like billions of dollars every year, and obviously it attracts a lot of attention from, let's say, business perspective, but also from personal perspective. A lot of people use K-beauty products. I'm no exception to that. For example, I use skincare K-beauty products, I would say on a daily basis. And when I was in South Korea with my parents, for example, me and my mom would go shopping for K-beauty products. So I saw that it is very big. I know that there are also the whole districts of like this special clinics that like change stuff. I don't know how you call them, like estheticians, I guess, that can change your facial features. And I noticed that there were a lot of advertisement on the streets in some areas of Seoul where they, let's say, showing you before and after results, and they like promoting their services to people. I know some people actually travel to South Korea to change something, I don't know, in their bodies because it's cheaper and high quality services there. I guess you don't need to have a PhD in social studies or something like that in order to understand that behind this K-beauty industry lies the insecurities of people, but also the infliction of Western standards of beauty on Korean people, and why there is such a huge demand on the products that would enhance your looks, for example, or your appearance. And again, I appreciate K-beauty and some of the products, and I think they make our life better and, you know, high quality, but at the same time, when it's like too extreme, of course it can only break hearts and lives and banks, let's say. So I would love to learn about that. I would love to learn like the dark side of it, so that's why I picked that book. It actually was published quite recently, so I've seen it on in the bookstore here in Germany, and I immediately purchased that, obviously. So I'm really excited about this book, and I think it is a good read also before you travel to South Korea. The next book is for the days when I'm sitting at home and I want to read a book. And this book is in Russian, and it is called Squirrel by Anatoli Kim. So Anatoli Kim is a Soviet author. He was born in what is now Kazakhstan, and he was very prominent, let's say, in 80s. And in 80s in Soviet Union is a very interesting, let's say, cultural scene, because the economics were quite stagnant. The social development of the communist state was rather stagnant, but the culture and art were flourishing, especially non-mainstream art scene. So for example, if you're following me for some time already, you know that I was talking about Viktor Tsoi, who is also like half Korean, very prominent musician, who was, let's say, he was rising in the 80s. The contemporary art scene was very interesting at that time. It was developing, let's say, the new vision of art and culture in Soviet Union, which was obviously exceptional. So Anatoli Kim is not only he is a part of this very actively developing Soviet art scene at that time, but he's also a part of minorities. I think he's half Korean as well. Maybe he's completely Korean. I'm not sure about it, but obviously his surname is Korean. It's Kim. His name is Anatoly, but that is like, don't blame him or his family. Unfortunately, it is very common among Russian Koreans to have like a Russian sounding or Slavic sounding name, and that is tradition that like roots deeply in the history of relationship between Korea and Russian Empire and then Soviet Union, and so Anatoli Kim, he wrote a lot of fictional literature, but also later in his life he traveled to South Korea to teach there. He became a professor at the university, so I think it will be interesting also to learn how he rediscovered South Korea, let's say, or Korea in general in his later years. But I decided to begin just with his fictional works, so this is like a novel that is called Squirrel. I'm not sure if this book is translated to other European languages. I couldn't find this information. If you know something about it, if you can Google better than me, please let me know in the comments, because then I can actually recommend it to people and I don't know, put a link somewhere there so people can access it. So this is this little fictional work that I'm really excited to get acquainted with this next month. So yeah, and that's basically it. As I told you, I have some literature I still need to finish, such as, for example, the biography of Viktor Tsoi, another prominent Russian Korean. And yeah, all Quiet on the Western Front is still waiting for me to be finished. As you can see, there aren't many books, but I'm really excited about them. I hope they'll help me to live through the next month, and because I can't wait to go to South Korea, and we still have to wait for another 2 months. So yeah, I think it also kind of like prepares me to South Korea, to rediscovery of South Korea for myself. So yeah, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for your time and spending this time with me. Yeah, I hope I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. And until then, have a great one. Bye.